Welcome to the Create with Ease podcast. I am Grace Covington, your host. Today's topic is creating your reality. This is going to be the last podcast for 2021, and I thought the subject matter would be fitting as we are coming upon a brand new year. And one of the questions that I'm often asked is what it takes to create your reality in the quickest, fastest way. And one of those things is creating your reality. So what do I mean by this? This is when you are creating your reality. You're not creating your parents' reality. You're not creating your friends. You're not creating your husbands, your kids. You are creating your reality. When you are immersed in the energetics of creating your reality, the things you ask for actually show up in a faster way. So what does this look like? It's really looking at what is your reality. And for me, I had to go back. And I also had to do a lot of releasing to really find out what my reality actually was, because I found that I hadn't been living my reality. I was creating my reality based on, what my parents thought, would be the best career choice, or what the economy predicted would be the most paying job, or what other people thought it means to live a joyful life. Like, these are the things you should have. If you have these things, then you're going to be happy. And I created my life a lot from that space. But I wasn't happy, and I wasn't creating the things that I desired. And so once I began to release all of these obligations, release all of this fear of being judged, of being different, that's when my reality started showing up. And the signs and signals were pretty bright, where one of the things that is true for me in my reality is living my life from this space of joy. That is my reality. So when I am not being in joy, I know that I am not creating my reality. Your reality may not be what my reality is. That's why we're having this conversation. So you begin to know what your reality is and truly honor that and commit to that and be an allowance of that. Because sometimes we may start to judge ourselves because someone else's reality is completely different from ours, that we think we're wrong, but you're not wrong. They're creating their reality and you are creating your reality. And the space that we can come to when we stop judging, when we stop making people wrong or right for their choices and just be an allowance of what people choose. That space is so powerful. It changes things. So if you are looking to change a relationship, if you're looking to change basically anything in your life, stop making yourself right and stop making yourself wrong. In that space of non-judgment is where there's total space. You have total clarity. You have total peace. You have more joy. Yeah, and life is just beautiful. I have seen, and I've been practicing this and making a practice where I go into the space of being right, and then flipping that around and saying, what if I'm not right? What if I'm actually wrong? But being wrong is not bad. We have put this label on wrongness as badness. What if it's not? And the moment you shift from this space of rightness, because all you see is your rightness, all you see is your point of view, you don't see anything else. If I believe that this is the right way, this is how people should live, this is what they should choose because this is right, then no other possibility can become available. So what if you stepped away from that and was like, you know what? What if I'm actually wrong? And what if this person is actually right? then you start to see more possibilities. And it has been such a beautiful space in my world where the kindness I have towards myself, the allowance I have towards myself, there's some things in my life that I really loved to control, like control. And one of those things was my body, and controlling like the amount of exercise that I do, what I eat, all of this stuff. And right now I'm in the space of being in total allowance of my body and seeing what shows up, not making anything right, not making anything wrong. And it's really shown me the spaces where I go into judgment, the spaces where I go into wrongness. And once you come into this space of total allowance with no judgment, that's when things actually start to change. So as you look at your reality, don't make things right or wrong that you choose. The moment you go into judgment is when you create separation, and create separation from the things that you deeply desire to create. I hope that many of you step into this practice of not getting things right, of playing with getting things wrong and not judging yourself, and being an allowance of other people as well. And it doesn't mean that you are a doorstep where you allow people to walk all over you just because you're being an allowance of who they are. No, that doesn't mean that. When you're an allowance of the people around you, you actually have more awareness about those people and can get an idea of, what they choose and what they're choosing to be around you. And if that energy is something that doesn't work for you, then you know that, in my reality, this energy doesn't work and I am not going to choose it. I'm not going to make this person wrong, but I'm creating my reality and this doesn't work for me. And it's okay to do those things, to say those things, to have that space for yourself. I love taking these pauses because it really brings me into the space of gratitude of just how much my life has changed by these choices. The choice to be an allowance of people and letting go of the need to prove and the need to be right. I've had so much freedom in my life, and just this big release where I get to explore me, and exploring you is not always pretty. Sometimes you're going to choose things that are shitty, sometimes things that don't work. But that's the beauty of this life. You're not here to get it right. It's a journey, and the journey continues to unfold. But you are the creator of your reality. And the more you choose to really discover what that reality is, the more easier these things begin to show up. Because sometimes as you're creating your reality, you're going to choose things that are not really great. And if you do, then you know, hey, cool. I'm not going to choose this next time. I'm going to choose something different. And that's how you discover what actually works for you and what doesn't work for you. So I've been so grateful for this exercise in how much it's changing my life, how much it's changing my world, and the things that I choose and what I decide to have in my reality. And as we come upon a new year, coming into the new year from a space of possibility, the more that you are an allowance, the more access to possibilities that you will have access to, rather than consistently trying to prove points of views or trying to save people or trying to get people to understand why you believe this is right. People have their own awareness, and they will come to their own awareness if you just allow them to be who they are. This world would be a more beautiful world if we would allow people to show up in the world as they are without making them wrong. So if people choose something that is different from you, hey, allow people to choose that and have no judgment about it. Allow yourself to choose what you choose without judging yourself. What a beautiful world we would live in. And I think it starts with each of us really committing to this space. And I am excited because I have seen the transformation in my life, in my business, in my interactions, in my relationship with me, my relationships around me. And I am so grateful for all of those relationships because I've been able to practice these tools with the people around me. So it has just allowed me to step into this space of greatness. And also one thing that I have noticed is this space of silence that you begin to move into. Because if you are not expending all of your energy and trying to get things right, trying to prove, hey, I'm right, hey, pay attention to me, I'm right. Once you remove that energy, you can use that energy to create somewhere else. And for me, what has shown up is this space of silence, like where I don't really have much to say. And sometimes I do have to be intentional of, when I am creating on social media, because I'm like, you know what? I just have nothing to say. And it has been interesting because before I did have a lot to say. And now I'm moving into the space of not having much to say, and also recognizing that even when you don't have much to say, that is a powerful space to be, because all you are creating is space and people can perceive that space. So even if you have one post in your stories and you're coming from a space of space, that invites other people to choose that space of space for themselves and begin to create it. So that's been an interesting observation of watching how I'm interacting differently in the world and being kind. I have not been stepped into this level of kindness before, where I've been willing to really be wrong and be in more of allowance, which shows me that the more I am in allowance of me, the more I begin to be in allowance of other people, and it is a beautiful communion. One of the ways that we can energetically communicate with people and allow them to lower their barriers, and also can facilitate change in their lives, where they're perceiving this kindness coming from you and really lowering their walls and saying, wow, this person sees me with such kindness and doesn't judge me. I'm going to show up in the world as me. I'm going to be kinder as well. So I am grateful. I'm truly grateful for my life. I'm grateful for the choices that I've made. I'm grateful for my reality and for not being afraid to create my reality and to say that I am happy. I am joyful. My dominant energy is when I am being in joy. And there's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes we feel we have to hide our joy because other people are not happy. So in order to make them comfortable, I must diminish myself. And you do not have to do that. It doesn't mean that you are being mean or not considerate. Your joy changes the world around you. And if you are willing to include other people in your joy, that energy changes. So just think about it. If you walk into a room where there are a lot of angry or hurting people, and you come from this space of no judgment, and you're being you, and you're being in this space of joy, that shifts the energy of that room, because a different energy is coming in rather than what is the status quo in that room of anger, rage, fury, hate, hurt. But if you come in with the light and you shining as you and not diminishing you, you have that power to change and facilitate change in that room. So what I say is honor who you are and really find out, like, what is your reality? I was totally like, when I finally just acknowledged, like, I'm a joyful person. I'm a happy person. And it's okay. I can show up in the world being happy. Like, I can be happy every single day if I choose. Trust me, trust this process. The more you commit to your reality and knowing what that reality is, the more magical your world becomes. And no one has to understand you. No one has to understand you. That is not a requirement on this planet. What is required is for you to step into your reality, step into what is true for you, let go of all judgments, be an allowance of you and others, and watch your world shift and change around you. So happy pre-New Year. Wishing you a fabulous 2022 and a new year of beginnings, of hope, of blessings, of really going after what it is that you desire and being relentless in that pursuit of having your reality. And so if you are ready to do that, I am going to be offering, beginning January 15th, I'm going to be starting a 30-day creating and having your reality, 30 days of creating and having your reality. And really starting with the basics. I had shared in my Instagram stories how the basics are what changed my life when I was asking those questions of what do I desire to create, and moving into this space, of allowance and the step-by-step beautiful process of really uncovering what your reality is and having it. So we will be doing that for 30 days. I've already started to put together the material, and I'm going to be working with my team so we can have some great resources that will be guiding you through the 30 days. I will be doing the same 30-day program with you as well. And just excited when many people come together in this energetic space where two or more are gathered, there's magic that takes place, and everyone having that same intention of creating their reality and really looking at what is stopping you from having your reality, of you receiving what it is that you ask for with greater ease. So if that interests you, send me an email at grace@createwithease.com, or you can also connect with me on my social media on Instagram at createwithease. And I will get you on that list of all the amazing people that are going to be doing this 30-day program. I already have some people that are committed to joining and us all coming together in the space of creation. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast throughout 2021. I am truly grateful for you, and I look forward to all the exciting topics coming in 2022. And what else is possible from here? What can we create that we have never considered? Have a fabulous day wherever you are in the world. Commit to creating your reality with ease.